Before his time at Villanova, Pope Leo grew up on the south side of Chicago, a place he still nurtures connections with family and friends. And that is also where our reporter Tim McNicholas is from, and he shares how that community is celebrating the news.
Leo, Leo, Leo.
This might sound like a high school football pep rally, but these kids are chanting Leo, as in Pope Leo the 14th. They're students at St. Rita, an Augustinian high school on the south side of Chicago with deep ties to the new pope. He was a substitute teacher there decades ago, and in 2015, St. Rita held a mass and party after he was named bishop, a day Father Tom McCarthy remembers fondly.
He stayed for over 2 hours and spoke to every single person, gave a picture with everyone. You know, some people say, oh, I got to go, I'm tired, I want to go. And he stayed till the end. I think he even helped clean up.
McCarthy has known him for 40 years as Bob, and he describes him as a wonderful, kind person. Nonetheless, like so many others, he was surprised to learn the new pope is an American, let alone one he knows personally. But at least a couple Americans saw this coming long ago, if you ask the Pope's brother, John Prevost.
When he was in first grade or kindergarten, one of the moms across the street and one down the street said to him, "You're going to be the first American Pope." In first grade, they knew that.
While other kids played with toy soldiers and dolls, he says his brother wanted to play priest as a kid. And from childhood into adulthood, he's always cared deeply for the disenfranchised.
And I think in that way he will be a second Pope Francis. I think he'll follow right in his footsteps, working for the underprivileged.
And his brother also clarified that Prevost is a White Sox fan, not a Cubs fan. And Christine, that is important in Chicago, especially for us Sox fans from the South Side. I've had so many friends and family members call me today, text me today, just finding it surreal that the Pope, this figure who we've always thought of as a leader from some other part of the world, grew up in the same area we did and experienced some of the same things we did.
Yeah, it's really hard to believe, isn't it? Right? And you also went to St. Rita's.
I did go to St. Rita High School, yeah. I don't recall ever meeting him, but I could tell you that Father McCarthy, who you heard from in that story, was the president of the school when I was there. And the reason he was president is because Pope Leo, at that time leading the Augustinians, chose him for that role. So he left his footprints all over Chicago.
Amazing. And one other note, CBS News also reporting tonight that the Pope also exercises his civic duty. He has voted in past elections, although an absentee ballot sent in. But, you know, there he is covering all the bases.
Absolutely.
Tim, thank you for sharing that story. Of course, we'll have continuing coverage of the new Pope on air and streaming on CBS News New York.